Here we are, everybody. The final week, the week leading up to the big day. It's interesting actually because normally when I have a week off work, I get an opportunity to run far more often. I get a chance to run in the day, and of course with this holiday period that I've got off, I mean thankfully it is 2 weeks, but realistically I'm not going to be running a huge amount, which is a bit of a shame, but obviously I'm focused on that peak race, the big event. It's a milestone in my life. It's kind of a bucket list thing, and it's still quite amazing really that I'm here. I've got to this stage. It hasn't really been a huge amount of time since I started this journey, and to think that I've made it to this point is just, it's kind of overwhelming. Sometimes I just sit there, or often when I'm just laying in bed just before I go to sleep, I'm just thinking about it all, and it's a bit mad. It is a bit crazy, and of course it's probably a feeling that once you've done a marathon it's just like any other race, and no doubt it's still special, but you're looking for the next thing. So forgive me for waffling on about feelings and thoughts that I'm sure many people have had, and it just becomes a bit of a so what situation. But it's just quite incredible really. It is quite incredible, and it just I take a lot of time to reflect, and I think it's important to have those moments and just consider how you've got to where you've got to, and also the idea that you can do anything if you put your mind to it. And that's what has really struck me as being quite interesting, because you go through a phase, and I felt it, where I struggled to do a 5k and then I was able to do it, and I struggled to do a 10k and then I was able to do it, and then when I got to a half marathon distance, that was a turning point for me, when I realised, if you just continue on that same path, whether it's a training cycle or whatever it might be, you can actually get to the distance. So then when I did my first 20 mile, I thought, wow, this is groundbreaking. I can't believe I've done it. And then to do it again a couple of weeks later, I thought, well, there's 20 miles again. The big day, and then after the event I'll be able to make a decision about what feels right for me. Do I want to be somebody who maybe focuses on the shorter distances? Do I want to go in for a trail run? I certainly want to experience a 50k, that's for sure. I know I want to do that at some point, and I'll give myself a window of time to do it, and of course I'll adapt my training to suit whatever the next big race is for me. But I have booked the Way Ahead event, is what it's called. It's called Way Ahead because it runs alongside the Riverway and the Basingstoke Canal. So the Riverway, I've run alongside that, not the full distance of it, but parts of it when I've been connecting trails to road runs I've done. This is a little bit further back though in my timeline of my running journey. And the Basingstoke Canal is a canal that I've been running on most recently as part of my long runs with the group. So I'm familiar with sections of both of those. And what I'll try and do, because it's on the 18th of May, what I'm going to try and do is get out before the 18th of May and just not necessarily scout the course out, because I quite like just taking it all in. When you run a route that's just too familiar to you, it's not as fun. It becomes a little bit more of a chore, whereas I prefer to run something that's new, look at my surroundings, take it all in. And actually some of my most successful yet most difficult runs I've done with the group were where I didn't know where I was going. So we had that really hilly day, which I still remember. That was hard work. Now had I known there were 12 hills, by the second hill I would have been panicking a bit, thinking, oh my gosh, I've got 10 more to go. But as it was, I just took it as I found it, dug deep when I needed to, and got over each of those hills. There's no medal, there's no t-shirt for this race. I think you'll find it's also manual timing. There are web results, but it's not billed as being a race. So because of that, I guess that's why you don't get all the little bells and whistles and all the bling. People can walk it, people can run it, and when you sign up you can go for a number of different distances, and you've got the option of basically selecting walk or run. So they know when you turn up, what is this person going to be doing? Are they walking it? Are they running it? But that's the plan. 25k. It'd be cool to go sub 2 hour 30 on that. And my halves are around about 150, mid 50, something. I've already forgotten what they are. Anyway, I know that my halves are under 2 hours, so I think to put on the extra 5k and try and come in under 2:30 would be really cool. I like to just put a number on it, because I think if I can sort of do it in that time, it means that I've turned up, I've participated well. But of course, it all depends on the recovery process. Clearly, within a month, I'll be recovered to a point, but no doubt there'll be additional fatigue that I may not feel immediately. And it might mean that my training and getting back to do maybe some speed work is going to take a little longer than I anticipate sitting here right now. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. I look forward to booking in more races as the time moves forward into the summer season. And I'm sure there's a lot out there that I've not yet considered or thought about. But first of all, let's focus on the big day. So I'm just heading down now to go and collect my train tickets for this weekend, because that's how I'm getting down to Brighton. And obviously, because I'm not running, what I'm making a commitment to is getting out every day, fresh air, doing some walking. And so yeah, that's what I'm heading to now. And hopefully along the way, I might be able to indicate some points that will feature in the race that I spoke about early on, the way ahead, which runs alongside the river. So I'll catch you in a moment with some more interesting footage other than my face. So we're just approaching now what is going to probably mark the final 2 kilometres of the run, but there's a problem. You see down here, it connects 2 rivers. What we can't do is we can't run underneath this bridge. So what unfortunately has to happen is you've got to cross over a busy road, which is 4 lanes of traffic. Now, of course, it's perfectly safe to cross over the road, that's not an issue, but with 2 kilometres to go, that's going to be something to bear in mind, because I could be paused at those traffic lights for a couple of minutes or so, which, you know, like I say, in that final stretch you want to just keep that flow, so it's something for me to bear in mind and be aware of. But this is the river today. It appears that they're doing a clean up crew, picking up various things that people for whatever reason decide to throw down on the floor. So if you go back to some earlier videos, I've linked them before, those early half marathon attempts along the river. This is the route I was on. Of course, the weather was far hotter then. I think that's when I was going out at 5:30 in the morning. It was roasting. It was so warm. So by the time I was coming back at about, I don't know what the time was, 8 o'clock, 7:30, it was really quite overwhelmingly warm. But that was when we had the really hot summer last year. Beautiful bridge just behind me. Always loved that bridge there. Never been across it myself. You can see there's a kind of footpathy type thing there, which I'm sure you can't, but it looks perfect for doing a jump off into the river. Wouldn't trust this river either. Lots of currents that are not evident on the surface. And then we're just going past the local kind of, I suppose, canal boats. Here we go. Tickets in hand. Now what I'm actually going to do, probably tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, is do a video of me packing for the marathon. Yeah, what I normally do is ahead of time, even when I go on holiday, I do my kind of first round of packing, make sure everything's there, do my tick list, not a last minute kind of person, and then from that point I can start to tweak it and change things as I need to, which will be my plan as I get closer to the day. In light of trying something new every day, if I can, I've decided to cross a footbridge that I've never crossed before. It looks like there's a small tea room down here with some second-hand books for sale, so I thought I might take a little browse and see if I can find anything of interest. But I have never been down this way before, so kind of just going with the flow. But there's a nice sign, handwritten sign, looks quite quaint, so we'll see what we find down here. Well, this is fascinating. I'm inside a barge, just having a look around. Mind your head, absolutely. What a discovery this was today. Whoop. Interesting. Well, this is fascinating. It's like it's a museum with, I guess, some working models. Not sure what works here, but wow. I walked past a place a little shed just down that says Gunpowder Store. You go up Waterway Navigation. Does that light up? Just being a child again, really. How fascinating. Into the Gunpowder Store we go. This is really interesting. I didn't actually know anything about it. Wow, look at this. All done with tying knots. Rubbish at that. I suppose a big reason why I never came over as well is because whenever I've been passing the opposite side of the river, there's never been anybody this side. So it's only today because I've seen that the sheds are open and that there was sort of quite a bit of hustle and bustle. I thought, well, it's interesting. It's worth taking a look at that. There's probably other ways of getting to it as well, but I'm trying to find my bearings at the moment to figure out how I would actually get to there. But yeah, I found myself a science book. It's just a book on, what's it called? Just a book on kind of astronomy. It just looked quite cool, and you just drop a donation in the box. So I've done that. Yeah, I like to just take a little bit away from every experience, and that's been really enjoyable. I know I did a quick sort of snapshot on the video, but I actually spent a bit of time looking at the information offer that I didn't just walk in and walk out. So yeah, just heading home now. What a great experience. Really cool. And now I get to cross that bridge for the second time.